This podcast may contain adult language and themes, or it might not. We're not really sure. We haven't recorded it yet.
I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. That's right, and on this episode, our very special guest is Taylor Blackwell. Taylor, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I was struggling to get those words out. So I apologize.
That's okay. It sets a precedent for me that I can mess up too.
Yes, you have permission.
Professionally, I am a data analyst for a telemedicine company called PlushCare around San Francisco. So I spend about 3 hours banging my head against a wall and then get very happy when I break through. And then aside from professionally, I consider myself to be someone who's always up to something. I do comedy, I like travel, always up to something.
Sounds like there's a great deal of fulfillment when you break through. Like it sounds like one of those some jobs are just sort of, I'm ticking tasks off the list, but this one sounds like an explosion of awesome when you get there.
Sometimes, yeah. And then sometimes it's short-lived because you realize that you did not actually solve the problem. You thought you did, but you didn't.
Right.
So
you wasted it. You wasted all of the Yahoo.
Totally gone. Totally gone.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. Welcome, and welcome as a new member to the Candy Factory. So welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Diggs, my friend, always a pleasure to see you.
You too.
Welcome back to this episode number 41 of the 5x5 podcast. You know, we couldn't record this without the mothership. That is the Candy Factory co-working campus. It's where we all work. It's how Diggs and I met, which in and of itself is just incredibly awesome. But it's a co-working community here in downtown Lancaster where you can come and you can work safely, especially during these COVID times. You can be around other people. We distance, we do the masks, we do all that. Or you can connect with us virtually. So we have a lot of membership tiers. You can check out co-working in Lancaster to find out all about co-working right here in the heart of downtown Lancaster, Pennsylvania, starting at like $10 to tap into the virtual network. Yeah.
That's it?
All the way up, all the way up to private office space. So check it out. Co-working in Lancaster. It's the mothership. It's our sponsor. It's where this all happens. If you're new to the program, let me just tell you how this works. I have an iPad. His name is Frank. He's right there. And Frank is going to dish up 5 random topics for us to chat about. We'll talk about the first topic for 5 minutes. Frank will play a little jingle. Frank says hi to our producer, Ann Kirby. Thank you, Ann, for acknowledging Frank and welcoming him. He does sometimes need a little...
He needs some coddling.
Little love, little coddling. The visual that just, you know what I mean?
He's swaddling and swaddling close.
Swaddling the iPad. Yeah, it's just getting weird already. It's getting weird already. Anyway, Frank will play us a little song. We'll move on to the next topic, and that's how it works. It's the fastest 25 minutes in podcasting.
5x5 minutes in podcasting.
5x5 minutes in podcasting. And we're about ready to get started. So with all of that, I'm going to exhale. You guys feeling good?
Yeah.
I'm ready for this.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here we go. Frank, what is topic number 1 for this episode's 5x5? Vaping.
Ooh.
Vaping.
Vaping. Yeah. Any vapors on the show today?
No.
Do you guys vape?
Nope. No, not at all.
Okay, moving on to topic number...
Good start.
Yeah.
I prefer being around vapors to being around smokers. Like, if that's anything, because like smoking, I hate the smell of cigarettes. Like, I was one of those kids and adults that if I walk by somebody like smoking a cigarette, I'll like hold my breath and like be like cover my face with my shirt.
Like a militant non-smoker.
Yeah, really, definitely one of those. Whereas vaping, I'm like, okay, maybe it smells like bubble gum, which is more acceptable to me, but still like not particularly good for anybody.
Right, and it has those fake smells, sort of like the flavor of the crap at the dentist that they put on your teeth at the end, the polish.
Yeah,
it's like, they're like, quick digression. They're like, would you like the chocolate fudge? I'm like, no. Give me the thing that's closest to toothpaste so that I can just get out of this room and mouthwash myself. Anyway.
Yes.
That's true.
Diggs, vaping.
I mean,
No, I mean well, no, I think it's becoming more of a thing with. I don't. Are we fully legal with weed yet? Or I know that medical marijuana is like has progressed, but so stick to medical. I think the vaping kind is what's most prevalent currently, at least in Pennsylvania. So I feel like there's going to be more and more of it, as time marches on. But will I be joining in? Not really.
So you're saying vaping, like weed vaping, vaping would be the preferred method of consuming THC at this point?
I just know from a medical sense, I am around folks who have medical marijuana licenses. Is it a license? Let's pretend it's a license. Cards. Yeah. It's a card. Yes, card-carrying members of the Medical Marijuana Club. And I know that I think you can choose between edibles and the vape cartridges currently.
Yeah.
That might not be true. I like to say things as if they're true, and then we'll just fact check it later.
We can correct that later. Well, and the stat on the bottom here, or the information about it being e-cigarettes or vaping being as addictive as traditional. It's funny how vaping came out. It was sort of like the healthy.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. What a ridiculous idea. Right?
Wait. It was a good marketing campaign, though, for some people.
It's like clean coal.
It's like the cigarette ads in the 60s where doctors, would be smoking cigarettes. So they'd be like, 4 out of 5 doctors recommend Camels over Lucky Strike.
It makes me wonder, like 50 years from now, what commercials we're gonna see, and that's like that we think is good for us right now. That in 50 years is not good for us. It's like, whole wheat foods,
right?
Or you need gluten.
Absolutely, I remember back. Yeah. I remember in the 90s there was a diet that came out, and it was around maybe 1994, and it was I can't remember the chemical or the additive that was put into these things, but it was a fat-free. Kind of a phase or whatever, fad. And all these people around, I worked in an office, and all these people were like buying these chips, that had this stuff in it. And it turned out like 6 months later, all kinds of like GI issues. It was terrible. And it was just one of those things where like the marketing was just over the top health. Like finally the breakthrough, the miracle weight loss product. And I wish I could remember what that is. I'll have to look it up later and see. But anyway, it's like that, right? It's we jump the gun because we're a profit-driven society, and we jump the gun. The companies just want to make money, and if they can get something approved by somebody, they're like, "Yep,
yeah,
it's good. We'll figure it out later."
Or it's like we don't know if it's good, but it might not be bad. So here you go.
Yeah, jury's out. You try it. And vaping was definitely, but I do know a lot of people who quit smoking. Through the e-cigarettes, because I'm my generation, we smoked. Well, everybody smoked, and it was by the time you're in your 30s, you're desperately trying to get away from it. And
on the contrary, though, I know a bunch of people who wouldn't smoke cigarettes who would definitely vape.
Well, that was the flip, right? So it's like a generational thing, because we all grew up either smoking or with our parents or grandparents smoking. I'm almost 50, so it's like I grew up in the 80s, and so. In the 90s, like everybody smoked, and so it was like a transitional thing. But if you didn't grow up with cigarettes, right? It's kind of like what you were saying, Taylor. It was like if you didn't grow up with it, and you're presented with this chemical. I mean, I was a little kid, right? We're driving around in the car with the windows rolled up, and the old man's knocking back a pack of Kents. So by the time I was a teenager, it's like I was immune to smoke. But if you didn't, then you jump right to vaping. It's like that's my jam.
When I was a big that's time. Won't say it.
The vape cartridge has run empty. And it's time to move on.
Too bad.
It's time to move on to topic number 2 of this week's episode. You know what? This topic is so long, it's going to take me a moment to consume it. If money is no object, are you buying a house or a condo? If money is no object, are you buying a house or a condo?
I like how those are the only 2 options.
Yeah,
It's
like
we
not,
can
not
expand.
a yacht. You know
but
what I
he's,
mean?
yeah, no boats, like not an apartment, a house or condo. I I think I'm okay with maintenance, like house for sure. I also recently had a friend who had like a condo horror story of like his like monthly fees were supposed to be like $100 a month, and then like condo business went under, had to like refill the endowment something, and then his like condo fees were like $450 a month on top of his like mortgage.
Right.
So that seems bad. I'm also not old and I like yards. So house all the way.
Yeah.
So not old.
Diggs, where are you at with it?
Condo. Sorry. I mean, I will happily come visit your yard, Taylor. But
Thank you.
and I know the thought about like if money is an object. Yeah, all right. That's a fair point. But I don't know. I don't want to deal with the roof or like I'll pay the fee to like have someone fix my heater or whatever. Like I grew up in an apartment, not a condo,
Yeah.
but like that's what I'm used to. But yeah, it's like it's for those people who like visiting the people with kids. I'm the one that's like I'll come visit your backyard. Like I don't need my own. I'm good.
Yeah. For clarity, an apartment is what is rented, and a condo is bought. What's the difference between those two?
Technically, yes. So it's okay. I don't know about Pennsylvania. So I grew up in a weird hybrid situation where
An apartmo?
the
Condartment?
yes,
Condiment.
yes, condiment. No. So it's called a Michelama co-op. It's a co-op is technically the term, where it's some legislation that passed, and it was in New York in the 50s, I think, where essentially my mom owns a percentage of the building that equates to the square footage of the apartment. So instead of paying like straight up and down market rate rent, it's a percentage of the mortgage of the entire building. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm fine. The math is catching up.
Yeah, so the rent is way cheaper because it's not straight market rate rent. Instead, it's that split of the mortgage. So, in theory, the building could potentially like vote to turn everything into straight condos, where mom would own the specific apartment
Gotcha.
as a condo and then could sell the apartment. But currently, if she were to leave, she would essentially get her down payment back, and then it's the shares get sold back to the rest of the building until somebody fills the apartment.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. Yeah, the question that I asked you about whether a condo or an apartment is rent or lease, I expected a yes.
Sorry, I just
yeah, that's how it works.
I like to imagine that Diggs though, like he said, he called it a co-op, and to me that just means like there's hippies, everybody's wearing tie-dye and Birkenstocks, and it's also just in New York City.
Right.
Like there's cows there, but it's in New York.
Like they picked it up out of Georgia and they just airlifted it and dropped it right into Brooklyn.
Yeah, there's like a hill with wheat on it and like a small pond.
No question
And that's just
about
where
it.
Diggs grew up. Yeah.
Lots of children run around with just diapers, just running around, and they're cloth, and they're just running around.
Cloth and like rubber boots.
Yeah, chasing the invisible balls. For sure, no question about it. Yeah.
yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
I think that I am attracted to the idea of a condominium. I grew up in a house, and I've rented apartments. I've pretty much rented everything you could imagine. I own a home now. I own a house, and I've owned a few of them over the course of my life. So, it's
Brag much?
not at all. Well, it's called being old. Like you reach a point in your life where you're just like, yeah, I've just done that a few times. You know what I mean? It's like I don't enjoy it. It's not something. It's not something that it is terrible when it comes to the maintenance stuff. Speaking of roofs, you know what I mean? And just those things that just break, and you're like, you kind of have to just factor in like an extra. If you're going to pay $1,000 a month for a mortgage, it's $12,000 a year. You got to factor in another $500 a month. Just put it in the bank.
That's true, but like if money is no object, like it doesn't matter.
Well, that's a good point.
You know? So, because you guys are being very practical, I think, and so
We
I'm
completely
saying, like,
missed the idea of this.
anything that goes wrong with the house, you can pay somebody to fix. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm buying a house.
No, I'm still sticking with condo. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's just
I'll
Okay,
put
live
I'll
your
put the
life.
money into travel because that's what I'd want to do.
that's
Like I'd want to be able to. Like,
see, money's no object, Diggs. Now you're talking
Yeah.
about the money again. We aren't talking about money anymore.
fine.
Yeah, and you just got foreclosed on. Well, at least this topic did, because we're moving on to topic number 3 of this.
That was
week's-
good.
of this episode's 5x5, and that topic is napping, which feels like I could do that
wow.
right now. I just feel like I could just. I'm just gonna
I'm-
nap through this topic. You
Yeah.
guys run with it.
Now, see, how will you wake up from that nap? That is the
The
question.
little jingle that Frank plays.
No.
It's a
I
5-minute
don't-
nap.
No. I don't mean like what mechanism would wake you up. I mean, when you wake up, if you took a 5-minute cat nap, do you wake up refreshed? Do you wake up groggy?
No, to be frank, I can't nap.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I'm a
the
big
same boat.
napper.
You're
You guys don't
napping?
nap? Oh, I
I
will
can't-
definitely nap.
Yeah, but how long do you need? Like, what? How much time are you blocking off?
Okay, let me talk to you about daytime sleeping. Like I
Be careful because of your job. Just saying. But continue.
I'm much better at staying awake now.
Ah,
When I was in college, though, I was an RA and I was a rower. So I'd be working until 11 p.m. and then I'd wake up at 4:30 a.m. And so I only ever got most of the time I got 5.5 hours of sleep. And so, but I need 8 hours of sleep. And so it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I will find time to sleep. It doesn't matter if I want to or not, I will get my 8 hours in.
Right.
And so there was a point in time in college when I would always fall asleep in class. Everybody knew it. There was a point in time when my cohort had a Facebook group and it was just all pictures of me asleep in class. My professors knew it. Whatever professors was said, yeah, it's an hour and 15-minute class. She's usually good for the first 15 minutes, conks out for about 20 minutes, and then has a strong second half. It was just known. Because I'm not one of those and because I would. And also the worst part was I would always be no, Taylor, sit in the front row because then you'll be too ashamed to fall asleep right in front of the professor, right?
Yeah.
That'll work. Absolutely not. And so I would see literally sitting in front of the professor 5 feet in front of them, just blatantly asleep. And I would hold my pen and stuff too, so we worked out. But no, because I have
Oh my
to.
God. Wait.
What?
Did you take half asleep notes? Because that was my problem in college. And then trying to decipher the shit that I've written was just was I high on something? What the hell is this?
Oh, let me top that for you. So I was a note taker in class. I got paid to go to class and take notes for deaf students in my class. So I would have to my notes by the end of it, there would just be half drawn, faintly faint marks and pencil lines that I would have to go through and redo my notes or sometimes borrow them from somebody else to complete the notes so that I could submit them for the deaf students.
So they would follow the track and then be up there's where she fell asleep.
Yeah.
and
Oh, it was, you
here's
could
where
100% see that in the notes
where
that I
she
was
woke
taking.
up a little groggy here, and then some forceful writing here. She's back.
Yeah.
Adjustments. So is it? And I may have missed this before. Is it power naps for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, overall, not just in class, but just overall?
Yeah. No, I'm big into the power nap. I will lay down, set an alarm for 23 minutes, and that's 3 minutes to get to sleep, 20 minutes of sleeping, wake up 20 minutes later, feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I've never
according
pulled
to
an
ours-
all-nighter.
Oh, really?
I've never pulled an all-nighter in my life.
Wow.
Because I take power naps throughout the night.
Okay. That's fair.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never been able to nap. If I wake up from any length of a nap, I am spent for the rest of the day. When I commit, I have to just sleep it out, and then I'm good. 6 hours, good to go. Groggy morning. It takes me about 45 minutes and some coffee to kind of get the engine started. Then I'm fine. But I'm going to stay up the same amount of time if it was 5 hours or 7 hours. I'm going to stay up the same. I'm going to stay up just as late the next night. It's just that. But if I try to lay down and take a nap, at say 2 o'clock in the afternoon, forget it. I gotta just commit all the way.
But
But
my thing is I can't. Oh, sorry.
Well, I've done a lot of all nighters as well, and that's it. It's just there's this burst of energy that kind of kicks in that I'm on.
You just power through.
Power through.
Interesting.
For me, it's
go ahead, Diggs.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I can't plan it. Like, I feel like you two can plan it, and I'm just like, I'm tired. I need to close my eyes for 5 minutes, and then I'll be fine. And then, like, I can go on with the rest of my day. Like, I did that maybe 2 days ago. I was just like sitting at the table, and my roommate Nick was like at the couch watching something. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can turn this." And I was like, "No, I'll be like, you do what you're doing. I just need to close my eyes for 5 minutes, and I promise I'll be fine. Like, as soon as I wake up." And yeah, like,
that's a gift. It's really,
but I don't plan it. I don't plan it. Like I said, it's just
no, right. It
I'm
just
tired
comes on, and you got to go. I'm out.
But is that a nap?
Yeah, I do
sure.
fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you are a napper.
No. I think nappers truly do plan it. Anyway.
Well, it's time to wake up from topic number 3 and move on to topic number 4 of this episode's 5x5, which is So the topic is Occupy Wall. and on the last episode, we did Occupy Wall Street. Frank is just telling me Occupy Wall. I assume that was supposed to be Occupy Wall Street, which we talked about.
We can take that as Occupy Wall.
Let's just occupy the wall. Taylor?
Yeah. Okay. What do you occupy your walls with? Like paint, wallpaper, frames, like decorative items. Like it's occupying your wall. You know.
What occupies your wall, Diggs?
Nothing. I've never been a big decorator person. No, I mean,
you realize that, like, through this episode, we've learned that Diggs' like dream abode is this white box on the 14th floor of a condominium built with nothing in it.
No. Okay, I would paint if I ever had the patience to paint. But see, that goes back to the money no object thing. I'd definitely pay someone to paint my wall.
There you go.
Money were no object. But yeah, no, I don't really put things up. I don't really like. I was always impressed. I did 8 years of living away for school, from boarding school and college. So I was always impressed with like the people that did the pictures on strings, or that had stuff to nail into their wall or their posters. It's like, oh, that's cool, but it was like, just wasn't really me.
No, you're right. There was like in college, in the dorms, I lived in one of those, like concrete brick dorm rooms, it's like, I don't know, 10 by 10. And it's like 2 of you in there with the wooden bunk beds, and it's just these cinder. And you'd walk into some of these guys, and it would look like the Taj Mahal. You'd walk in, and it'd just be like, there'd be like a band in the corner, there'd be a casino, there'd be like a blackjack table and a refrigerator. Mine was like literally the walls with some stuff with the putty, some few pictures hanging there with some posters, right, that I got out of a magazine, some posters, and that's it, and then just clothes. But yeah, some people really would go all out and dress those places up, and just like, it's like, wow. Yeah. What do you occupy your walls? Wait, how do I want to say that? What do you put? I don't know. You just go with it, Taylor.
I spend a lot of time occupying my walls with things. I was one of those people who, like, when in college, whenever I move, I have like a box of just like shit to go on walls. And so like, it's like a big map. I have like a banner, but it's not a lot of little things. It's like a couple big items that really like fills the space, and it makes it feel homey.
Wow.
And like, since I was like, I don't know, maybe like 15, I've had this like giant world map that's just like kind of ripped in the corners from like thumbtacks, but it goes above every bed I've ever like slept in. I have like on the wall of my bed a headboard. I have a headboard.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I have a headboard.
The wall of my bed. The wall of my bed. I'm like searching.
That was like Winnie the Pooh level.
Understand me. No, on my headboard, like, it's just like this huge, like, it's like a side of an industrial crate that I like got from some like distribution center that was free, is trash, but it has moved to 3 different apartments with me. And so, I'm a big, I don't know. I feel like it makes it homey. It's like it doesn't take up space. I don't like things on the floor. I like a clutter-free floor, but then full walls.
Wow.
That's my position. Occupy the walls, not the floor.
It's a good. It's
Quite
a good,
the opposite.
and the ceiling apparently with the map.
Oh, well, the map is on the wall.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. I just had this vision that you're laying, planning the route.
That's true. I only recently have I started experimenting with occupying my ceiling with items.
Okay.
I have like a couple dangly like prism type thingies that I like put a little cup hook into a wall, and those are hanging from there. They're pretty
fantastic.
cool looking.
Cup hook?
Like-
the suction cup things. I got it.
No, it's like a screw.
No.
It's called a cup hook. Like do you ever put like stockings on your mantle at fire like around Christmas time?
Yeah.
It's like a little hook
just-
that you like
we just-
screw into the doohickey.
Yeah. So I got
Yeah,
you.
like it's a
didn't
small
have a
hook
mantle.
with a screw. Okay.
I certainly don't have anything that has carried with me over the years in terms of like the wall. But I will say that when you move into a new place, there's this. It seems like, at least for me in my experience, you move into a new place and you kind of get to 80%, and the last thing to go up is the art. You know what I mean? Like, there's the last thing to go up is that stuff, and it's usually months. You get in, you get all the stuff functional, and then like months later, it's like you spend that weekend finally hanging the art or whatever, getting decorations, and then it's like it all comes together.
That's true. Yeah.
It just feels so good. But unfortunately, we have to tear down that wall and move on to topic number 5 of this episode's 5x5, which is social media.
What about it?
Media.
That's vague. So much to go on.
Yeah. Where does it take you, Taylor? Where do the 2 words social media take you?
Time suck. Like.
Absolutely.
I will just like be on Instagram watching like one person's story, and then 30 minutes later, I'm just like, what did I consume? I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Do you have a preferred platform for social media?
I use Instagram. Like Instagram's probably my go-to right now, and I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook though, because I love that when like I was an exchange student when I was in high school, and so like, and that was like 2012, and so like Facebook was big, and so everybody just like, exchanged their Facebooks and stuff. So part of me is just like, if I get rid of my Facebook, I will have like no way to contact these people in the future. And I kind of like being like, oh my God, that's what Jose's up to, or like whatever. But at the same time, it's just such a pain in the butt, and I don't see the things I want to see on there anymore.
It has definitely evolved over the years. It's definitely changed.
Yeah.
And Diggs, I'm going to let you run with this for a second. I will be right back.
Okay. I mean, on the social media side, like actually, what's funny is that I just had a event for work that was all about how social media companies need to do better, and about how they sort of let online hate proliferate. And so to me, like my brain is still stuck in like social media companies are bad and terrible. But no, I have to say Instagram is my go-to too as well. Also, in terms of I love being able to see how other people view the world. Now the issue that I have is that when Facebook took Instagram over, and it's slowly become more Facebook-like. Yeah, that's what's been driving me nuts personally. Like,
so do you like? Because I feel like there's always like a cutting edge of social media or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's really cool until somebody starts making money off of it, and like everybody loves TikTok right now because it's like a fun, creative platform, and then like a year from now, and now people like starting to make money off of it. And I don't actually have TikTok, so everything I'm saying is from secondary sources. But everything I'm saying I'm making up, just to be clear.
That's fine.
But like, eventually it'll start getting less fun. Because like Vine was cool for a while, and then people were like, "Oh, we have to make money." I don't know. Whereas, I don't know. And then like Reddit seems sustainable to a certain extent. It didn't have the same.
I wonder how Reddit is staying as like true to its mission, I guess is how I would phrase it. Like how did they cultivate that? I will note that there are lovely disadvantages. I guess they're not lovely, but there are disadvantages of social media scrolling across the screen if you're watching this, about how lack of it diminishes emotional connection, gives people license to be hurtful, and sometimes it allows Jasons to reappear into broadcasts.
Welcome back. Thanks for holding down the fort.
Oh yeah, we got it. Do you remember Vine, Jason?
I do remember Vine. Yeah, it was a very short-lived thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 2 years, 2-3 years. I will say, I fell hard into the Vine train because I was back in New York at that time, and the startup I was working for, which was a subsidiary of eBay, our boss and the manager, and they happened to be sisters, were the boss's partner at the time became a big Vine person, and now they ended up spinning off and running their own agency, pretty much based off of the stop motion videos that they used to create, and they were bomb. They were amazing. But because of them, I got into Vine, and one of the things I used to do, I was on the Sunday morning shift as when I became a supervisor, and I would set up a camera and try to catch a loop of a song.
Oh yeah.
And like I still sometimes I'll still get these these remember when you did this loops, which is just like, oh yeah, I remember that, and I did that one really well. So I kind of miss Vine, not gonna lie.
I didn't jump on, and apparently it was discontinued, at least the mobile app, October 2016. According to the statistics flying across the bottom of the screen, presented to us by our awesome producer Ann Kirby. Thank you, Ann. I just remember it happening, but someone raised an interesting point about social media while you guys were talking. I was jumping back in, and it feels like what it triggered in my mind is this thought that when a new platform spins up, there are these people who jump on it early, and they just become these super users, and you've kind of stumbled into these newer platforms, and you look, and there's like this. It was like Google Plus was like that,
Oh my God, yeah.
When Google Plus came out, it was like there would be like these 3 people you knew who had like 18 million followers. You know what I mean? And then everybody else, it was just their Google contacts. It was just, you know what I mean? Like, and nobody else was doing anything, and they just posted all day for like each other. It's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the whole thing evolves. Where are we at with social media? About 15 years in, I guess. To it becoming mainstreamed, would you say about 15 years? Yeah, 2005, 2006.
I made a Facebook in 2008, so.
Yeah. So when you break it down and you think about how much of life has been consumed, you know what I mean? If you've been on since the early days and you're 30, it's almost half of your life. It's crazy. So we'll see where it goes. But unfortunately, that's it. The end of 5x5. Fastest 25 minutes of podcasting. Taylor Blackwell, thank you so much for being a part of the program.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to have you. Welcome to the Candy Factory. Diggs, my friend, the pleasure has been mine once again.
Oh, don't stab
it. And we will see everybody out there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on 5 by 5. The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast
is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. 5x5 Video can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Subscribe to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is recorded at the studios of the Candy Factory,
a co-working campus in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
The show is produced and hosted by Jason Mundock,
along with co-host Robert Diggs.
Editing and additional production by Anna Tran.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast
are solely those of the expressor.
The Candy Factory is not in any way responsible if anyone said something stupid.
Our theme music was composed
and recorded by a really cool guy.
Really cool guy.
A really cool guy.
Really cool guy named John Chin.
Relevant links and show notes
can be found on the show post
at our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Maybe that's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Candy Factory
Collective.